victory will be ours is written on this poster of the Russian military here in the center of Moscow that is trying to recruit new people for the Russian army. And possibly they will need much more people in the future because Donald Trump has changed his course again.
Hi everyone, hi Adrian.
Hi Jan, greetings from cold but sunny Russia.
Yes, that's what I can see in the background. After a little summer break, it's everyday life for us again, and that means a lot of traveling. And you are in Moscow at the moment, reporting for German TV again. So let me directly start with a question. I heard that Trump at the United Nations called Russia a paper tiger. I'm sure that was not really well received in Moscow, right?
No, not at all. The spokesperson of the Kremlin, Peskov, basically said, no, we're not a paper tiger at all. If anything, we are a bear, a Russian bear. I mean, that was
A paper
rather a
bear.
humorous answer, I think he meant. Yeah. But of course, this whole statement here wasn't perceived very well. One key point was criticized by Peskov, and that is the statement by Trump that Russia could basically take back lost territories. I mean, that's a big mistake, Peskov says, was obviously quite angry about it. But on the other hand, also the Russians here know that Trump tends to change his opinion and statements rather quickly. So if you read the media outlets here, that's what most are also saying. We shouldn't take it too serious. His opinion could change rather fast again. So on the first hand, of course, it sounds like a big change of strategy by Donald Trump saying, well, basically, do your thing now. I'm more or less pulling out of the conflict, but we're still supporting NATO. It sounds, first of all, as if the good mood between the two countries that has been developing over the past months and weeks is over, but I'm very skeptical that this was the last statement. There will be a new one, and it could be a total change of direction once again. We don't know.
I mean, he actually said that Ukraine might even be able to get back the whole territory, maybe even including Crimea. We didn't
Yeah,
specify
he
that.
left that open. He
But
didn't specify it.
But of course, yeah, it was just after a meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky, and we know Trump also tends to, somehow it feels even that he's often a bit influenced after these meetings by the people he has just been talking to, even though he always sees himself as the strong man who takes the decisions and says what to do. But yeah, I can understand this feeling that, well, we shouldn't take it too seriously, even if it sounds quite serious. Maybe next week he will say something else again, right? But
Right.
maybe at one point he might be right, and maybe this is also where Russia might be a little bit sensitive, no? Because there is a lot of reporting at the moment that there are quite bad economic problems in Russia. Tax increases for the war spending, a possible stagnation of the economy. Even I read about some fuel shortages in some regions. What is your impression on the ground there?
Right. I mean, that was also Trump mentioned in his statement that the economy of Russia is not doing well at all. Peskov also reacted, playing it down on the one hand, but on the other hand, he even admitted that in some areas there are problems because on that very day where the statement came out, Russia also announced a tax increase on the value-added tax. Starting from next year, that will be increased from 20 to 22%. And the money that the state will make extra will basically go directly into the defense budget. And right now, overall, Russia is already spending around about 40% of all the state income on military, on defense. That's a very significant amount of money. And in the Western world, many countries had hoped that the sanctions would lead to massive economic problems rather fast. This has, to be honest, not really happened in the way that many Western countries were hoping. Russia adapted very well to the situation. They found new partners with other countries. China, for example. I mean, when we walk around here in Russia, we still see like a lot of tourists, but they're not from the
Where
Western
are
world
they?
anymore.
Mainly from a lot of Chinese tourists, yeah, but also
A lot of
Turkey.
Chinese and Arabs, like from the Arab world,
Arabs.
especially now in their summer, they're really coming here like in their thousands. Hotels are packed with Arab tourists. So
during the summer to avoid the heat
exactly.
somewhere else. And I imagine there are also people that can spend quite a bit of money, right? It's not
Yeah.
like super low budget tourism there.
Absolutely. I mean, the economy adapted, and on top of that, I mean, of course, this war expenditure led to a massive economic boom because the state basically invested into corporations in the defense sector, but also in other sectors. So that helped the economy to grow. But it is a short-lived period. We don't know how long this can last and how long it will last. And this is what many economics experts are saying. Right now is the time where we're slowly seeing the problems coming on the surface. And I mean, obviously, because there's no real free speech here, you don't hear people complaining on cameras a lot or in the media outlets. But if you talk to people, they're also saying prices are going up. Economically, things are not that shiny anymore. And they might turn worse the longer these sanctions are in place. So the pressure will definitely slowly increase also on the Kremlin, on Putin, to do something about the economic development in the past, in the coming months ahead.
Now, there's another big topic at the moment, and this is the alleged violations of European airspace, right? Even in recent days, the drones have been spotted around European airports. We don't know what's behind these drones yet, but there have been violations of the European airspace that is where it's more or less proven that it's Russia behind it, and some politicians are even calling for Russian jets to be shot down if this happens again. How is this discussion resonating in Moscow?
Well, I mean, in the media here, it's not happening. It's basically not a topic at all. But I mean, first of all, maybe we have to say, I mean, the current big topic in Europe is in Denmark, where these drones were spotted. But so far, the authorities have not been able to basically come up with any proof where they're coming from. So by now, it's not 100% sure if they're from Russia. Russia even denied it, that they're from there. I talked to a contact here who said, well, think about it. I mean, we are not benefiting from these drones there. The only people who would benefit is your defense industry, who can now say we need much more money for drone defense systems. Obviously, this is also not a proven thing. It's just a theory. But there are examples in the past weeks that clearly pointed towards Russia, where there's clear evidence, and that is the drones in Poland, and that's the airspace violation that you mentioned with Russian jets in Estonia. So this clearly points toward Russia, and many experts in Europe are saying that it's likely happening because they basically want to create a climate of fear in these countries that basically leads to a situation whereby there will be less support for Ukraine in the end of the day. Because the key reason why Ukraine has been doing pretty well, I mean, pretty well depends on what you mean by well, but you know what I mean. I mean, they managed to push away a much bigger
than expected.
aggressor. Yeah, much better than expected. And the reason is because they get massive support from NATO countries. So that is obviously a problem for the Russians. And many experts believe that could be a reason why this is happening. Second reason could be that they're trying to see what is actually happening in terms of NATO defense systems when Russian drones or fighter jets are showing up. How are they reacting? Are they shooting them down? What are the processes that are starting? So basically from a military tactical point of view.
More a technology perspective on things, because this strategy perspective, I really don't get it, to be honest, because for me, this probably is counterproductive for Russia, to be honest, because I think that with these little attacks, Europe will see once again that it's not only Ukraine that is attacked, but that all of Europe is like endangered. So this will probably rather unite Europe again. So for me, it sounds like a not very well thought through strategy if this is what's behind it on the Russian side.
Yeah, my personal opinion is very similar. I also think so. And I cannot believe that Putin and Russia have any interest in picking up a fight with NATO. If you just look at the sheer numbers, I mean, they're struggling in Ukraine to make any major progress. Why would they pick up a fight with such a big player? Logically, it doesn't make sense to me. I think to most Russians it also wouldn't make sense. But I actually had a similar argument shortly before the war started. The invasion started in Ukraine. I would also not believe that, and that's exactly how I argued. And it came, things unfolded in a totally different way. So the truth is, we cannot look into Putin's heads. We don't know what he's thinking. We don't know what he's planning. And these days, everything is possible.
Very good point. Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you again, Adrian. Let's see where we will talk the next time. Maybe again while you are still in Russia or in another country. We'll see. But yeah, we'll keep you updated and stay safe.
Thanks, Jan. Have a good
Bye
day.
bye.